Good afternoon or evening, folks. Thank you so much for joining us tonight to learn a little bit more about Niagara College. I think we're just going to wait a few more minutes for folks to trickle on in before kicking things off. If you folks happen to see my eyes darting side to side, I got multiple monitors here. So I have the chat on my right hand side here, and I have my presentation right in front of me. So don't think I'm doing multiple things at once. So like I said, we're just going to wait a few more minutes to see if any more folks happen to trickle on in. I know we're one of the first sessions of the evening, so let folks get logged in, and settled in for this presentation. Should only take about half an hour, so 30 minutes, and then we'll leave the rest of the 15 or 10 to 15 minutes for a Q&A section. Alrighty, I think we can get this show on the road. Alrighty, so thank you everyone so much for joining me this evening. I really appreciate students taking the time to learn a little bit more about what Niagara College has to offer and to learn a little bit more about how we can support you through your academic journey. So to introduce myself, my name is Jordan Milton. I am a outreach and education coordinator for Niagara College, and I will be the one facilitating this presentation today. And I'll also be over in the exhibitor booth answering any questions that you folks may have. So as I mentioned, this presentation is going to take approximately 30 minutes or so, going over a little bit about what we have to offer, a little bit about the admissions processes, as well as all the amazing student services that we offer at Niagara College. If you folks have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to drop them in the chat or in the Q&A section, and I'll be sure to tackle them once we get to the end of our presentation, and hopefully I'll be able to answer all your important questions to the best of my ability. If there are any issues with my audio or video quality, please just let me know. Feel free to type in the chat that I'm going too fast or you need me to speak up, whatever it may be. Just let me know. I'll keep poking my eye over at the Q&A just to see how things are going. Alrighty, so to begin, I'll highlight just a little bit of our contact information. So I know that there may be some international students in the audience tonight. So even though I primarily handle domestic students, the information about the programs and our campuses and student services, those are available both to domestic and international students. If you are an international student, I highly encourage you to connect with our international team directly, just because of all the intricacies that go into visas, applications, fees, and all that fun stuff. World's changing, different requirements come up every now and then, different application dates that I'm not 100% familiar with, but our international team is available there to support you if you do have any inquiries. If you are a domestic student, you would be my contact. So the best way to get in contact with me is to go through our general email. So it'd be myfuturenc@niagaracollege.ca. And I also have a QR code up in the left-hand corner there for you. If you won't scan that QR code, you'll be entered into our lead capture database. And so that'll be a way for Niagara College just to keep in contact with you about all the important things going on through the college. So that'll be deadlines, that'll be information about applications, and all the important stuff that'll be going on at the college. Also, I encourage you to connect with us on social media. Every day we post stuff on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, highlighting all the important stuff that our students are working on and are involved in the community, and really highlighting what our students are learning in the classroom and how they're taking it to the real world. Alrighty, So now we'll get into the nitty-gritty about the college itself. So Niagara College Canada, we are home to two main campuses. So we have approximately 10,000 students split across these two campuses with a rough 60-40 split. So approximately 60% of our students are at our Welland campus, and approximately 40% are at our Daniel J. Patterson or our Niagara-on-the-Lake campus. On the map there, you can see that we are close to both the United States as well as the Greater Toronto and Hamilton areas. So we're roughly just a little over an hour away from Toronto, just to put it into perspective. Both of these campuses are home to their own unique programs as well as learning enterprises to make the most out of your learning experience. Both of these campuses are also accessible by public transportation, and that's not just within the Niagara region. We also have Go Bus services that connect students from the Greater Toronto area to the Niagara College campus. So, as I like to say to students, if you're looking to get to the campus, there's a good chance that you can find some way, shape, or form to get to us and come visit. I always encourage students come to our campuses for a campus tour just to get a real feel for what we have to offer and get a real feel for your future learning environments. I know when I was a prospective student looking at different colleges and universities, it was so important for me to actually step foot on the campus to make sure that I felt that the learning environment that I was going to be the most successful environment ultimately. And I feel that way when I go to Niagara College, when I go into the office. I really feel like both our Welland and Niagara-on-the-Lake campuses really encapsulate that student experience. So our Welland campus is home to a few different school offerings. So listed on screen here are our 15 schools of study with 12 main primary schools. So at our Welland campus, that is where you would find all of our healthcare programs. So if you're interested in nursing, paramedic, dental hygiene, things like that, all offered at Welland. We also have all of our amazing media programs. So if you're interested in broadcasting, graphic design, game development, things like that, you're at Welland. Justice and fitness, technology, trades, community services are also offered out of our Welland campus. And then located at our DJP campus, Niagara-on-the-Lake, is where you find all of our culinary programs, wine, beer, and spirits, hospitality and tourism, environment and horticulture, business and management, as well as our academic, liberal, and access studies. So that's a big mouthful. Tons of different programs available to students. So what I recommend to students, if you just go to our website, niagaracollege.ca, there's a handy little tab there that just says programs. Click on that programs tab and you're able to search up all of our amazing program options at both of our campuses. So one of the biggest questions I get asked from prospective students, primarily high school students, is what is the difference between college and university? And I can speak from experience. I've done both. So I have both a diploma from an Ontario college, and I've also received a degree from an Ontario university as well. And what I would say is the primary difference between college versus university is college is definitely more practical and hands-on learning. So the best piece of, or best analogy I can give is that let's go automotive, for example. Let's talk about the trade of automotive, becoming an automotive service technician, right? In a university setting, you would learn about the history of engines. You learn about the person who made the first car and how vehicles have grown from just a simple got to crank the car engine and the Ford Model T and all that stuff. You learn that history portion at a university, whereas the actual application of fixing the cars, learning how to do oil changes, how to do brake jobs, how to swap engines, things like that, that is all the stuff that you would be learning in a college classroom. So we really focus on applying the skills that you're learning in the classroom to real world scenarios. So that can be utilizing our variety of different learning enterprises, as well as field placement and co-op opportunities. And I also just touched on trades as well, which is another area that we are huge into. Skilled trades in Ontario is highly, highly in demand, and we offer a variety of different apprenticeship pathways for students. So the idea of apprenticeships in Ontario is that you would have to be sponsored by an employer to work within the trade. So if you want to become a welder, for example, you have to go and get employed by a licensed welder to take you under their wing, and then they would provide the on-the-job training for you. Whereas we at Niagara College, we would provide the in-class portion of the apprenticeship training. That's not to say that we don't have amazing 1 and 2 year programs in the skilled trades to help build up your skills and experience so that when you eventually go out to look for an apprenticeship opportunity, you become that much more employable. So as I mentioned, we have our amazing automotive program. So we offer that in both a 1 year and a 2 year diploma option. So you're able, once again, to build up those skills so that when you go to apply for a job as a mechanic, for example, you already have tons of experience under your belt, and you show an employer that you're dedicated, you have the skills necessary to complete the job. For folks that don't know exactly what they want to do, maybe you're bouncing between a couple different ideas, you're not 100% sure what career may be the best fit for you, I highly encourage you to look at our career coach questionnaire. So the idea of the career coach, and you can see the QR code there on screen if you want to scan it and access it. It is an amazing resource where you're able to answer 60 questions. Shouldn't take you more than 10 minutes or so. And it'll ask you a variety of different things about, do you like working outside? Do you prefer working in an office? Do you like working with small children, for example? Do you like taking apart pieces of equipment and putting it back together? All these sort of general interest questions you're able to put in, and it will spit out a variety, excuse me, a variety of different careers that may be of interest to you. And it'll also show you what Niagara College program can get you to that point. So I highly, highly recommend to all prospective students, whether you're interested in Niagara College or not, to at least look at the career coach questionnaire because it is so handy in narrowing your focus on a specific program, right? Because you may not know what program you may need to take to get to your end goal, right? If there's a specific career you want to become an accountant, you want to become a nurse, you want to become a licensed tradesperson, all of those careers are listed on the Career Coach website for you to review. Alrighty, so credentials. So at Niagara College, we offer a variety of different methods of completing your program. So for example, we have our amazing 1 year certificate programs that really focus on building up your skills and experience so that you are able to go out and seek further education. So an example of that is one of our trades programs, for example. Take one of our 1 year welding program, build those skills and experiences up, and then go out and seek a job opportunity. That could also mean our pre-health sciences program, right? Maybe you don't have the grades or you don't have the courses needed to get into one of our more highly competitive programs, like nursing, for example. You're able to take a 1 year pre-health program, once again, boost those grades up, get a little bit of that college experience, and then transfer over to a college or university towards a certain program that you're looking to get into. The bulk of our programs, though, are primarily 2 and 3 year diploma options. And you'll see many different programs have an option of a third year. So they'll have like a photonics engineering technician, and then we'll also have a photonics engineering technology program. One's a 2 year, one's a 3 year, right? And you'll have that opportunity to choose the amount of schooling you'd like to go into, right? Many students, if they're just looking to get their 2 years in, get their diploma and head out into the workforce, whereas many students are eager to take that third year. They'll get an extra co-op as an example, maybe a field placement, and really get more of those management and creative skills in that third year of the program. We also have amazing degree opportunities as well. So colleges in Ontario have been offering degree programs for about 20 years now. I think we launched our first one in 2003. So we do offer degrees that are at the same level, same accreditation and everything like that as an Ontario university. So what I like to recommend to students is if you are looking at a degree, you're down that degree pathway, you want to potentially go on and get a master's, for example, and continue your education that way. College degrees combine that practical hands-on learning and that college charm with a university level education experience. So just one thing to note, if you are looking at one of our degree programs, we do require U-level credits as opposed to rest of our other programs. We are primarily just looking at college level credits. We also have amazing pathway opportunities for students. So, as I like to say to students, we are all lifelong learners. We never know when we're going to eventually stop going to school. And it doesn't necessarily have to be school where we're continuing our learning. We take tons of professional development courses. We do our own independent research to learn more about a variety of different subject areas. But it's always important to know what opportunities you have with the education you already possess. So as you can see listed on screen here, this is an example pathway that one of our students or many of our students have been able to take advantage of. And the idea is that upon completing our environmental technician field and laboratory program, which is a 2-year option at Niagara College, you are then able to transfer over to Trent University to complete a Bachelor's of Science in Environmental and Resource Sciences. So in essentially 4.5 years, you would have both a diploma in environmental technician studies as well as a Bachelor's of Science in Environment and Resource Sciences. Uh, it's a super handy pathway available to you just because you're cutting out a lot of the time and the money that would be going into getting that degree opportunity. So one of the best resources I always recommend to students is ontransfer.ca because it lists all of the different requirements to transfer from a diploma or degree program to another college or university in Ontario, rather. Alrighty. So applications. So once again, as I primarily deal with domestic students, this information will be primarily directed towards domestic students, right? This is how, if you were a domestic student, you would apply through this service. So for the international students, if they are out there, the idea would be that you would connect with our international team to learn more about the application process because you would apply directly through us at Niagara College. So, if you are a domestic student and you are looking to apply to Niagara, you would apply through the Ontario College's application system, also known as OCAS. So the idea is that you don't apply directly to Niagara College, you apply to this other service, and then they pass along the information to us. So it is a $125 application fee, and you are able to choose up to 5 programs with 3 at any one college. So if you want to apply to nursing, dental hygiene, and paramedic at Niagara College, you still have 2 other options that you can apply to at other colleges in Ontario. The Ontario College's application system is super duper handy. They have tons of different resources available to students to help search out for different programs. I know I had mentioned the career coach page earlier, but the Ontario College's website actually lists every single college program in Ontario. So if you're looking for, aviation, for example, Niagara, we don't have aviation as an example. You can search up aviation in Ontario colleges rather, and see all the different schools that have the program that you're interested in. When choosing an institution, you really have to know what you're getting into. And I always encourage students to consider the location, right? Is this college or university located near home, or will you have to move a considerable distance to get there? In line with that, residence, right? Does the college or university that you're looking at offer a residence on site, or do they primarily have off campus student housing? As I mentioned previously, it's so important to visit the campus and come for a campus tour or open house, things like that, to really get a feel for your future learning environment and if you ultimately feel like you will be successful in your program. And also, very important, ask questions, right? I'm a recruiter for Niagara College. It is my job to answer questions from prospective students. And the saying goes, there are no stupid questions. Trust me, there are no stupid questions. I'm more than happy to sit down and chat with students about future learning opportunities. And I know that every other college and university across Ontario has recruitment departments, and they also have similar people in my position that are there to support you throughout your academic journey. So we have 26 public colleges in Ontario, 21 universities, and over 1,000 different programs and over hundreds of different disciplines. I know it says hundreds of programs. It's actually it's in the thousands of different program opportunities. Alrighty, paying for school. So Niagara College offers a variety of different scholarships, awards, and bursaries available to students. So if you were to go on our website, niagaracollege.ca, there's also a little tab there that says financial aid. And if you go into it, you are able to see a variety of the different scholarships, awards, and bursaries that we give out to prospective students. Many of these different scholarships are based on your grades, so your average that you've received from your program, for example, or not your program, from high school or beyond. Many of these scholarships as well are available to students through volunteer experience, right? So if you're involved in your community, you coach sports, you volunteer at the local soup kitchen, whatever it may be, you are able to leverage that experience that you have and then take it to get you some amazing scholarships, awards, and bursaries to help get you some of that free money, right? College is expensive. Traditionally, our tuition is around $4,000 to $6,000 a year for tuition. So any bit that you can get to help pay towards that is definitely beneficial. I know when I was in school, that was one thing I always tried to focus on, was trying to get access to some of that free money. I'll also highlight, just for some of our domestic students, if you are in a specialist high skills major program in Ontario and you graduate from that SHISM program and take a similar program at Niagara College, you would automatically get $1,000. So if you are interested in learning more about that SHISM scholarship, please feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to touch on it more. Alrighty. So, in terms of student services, we offer a plethora of different supports available to students to support you throughout your academic journey. As I like to say to students, you have a wealth of services at your disposal. It is ultimately on you to take the initiative to get access to these services. Throughout your college time, we all go through ups and downs, right? So whether it's emotional, financial, social, academic, whatever issues you may have, we are here to support you. It is just ultimately on you to reach out, because we don't know something's wrong unless you tell us, right? So we offer a variety of different supports in terms of health and wellness. So we have health services, we have nurses on campus that are willing to speak to students if they're going through any sort of troubles. We have health, wellness, and accessibility teams that are there to support you if you required any sort of accommodations during your time at college. So if you needed extra time on a test, for example, you need the use of a laptop in class, a note taker, whatever it may be, whether it's temporary or permanent, physical or intellectual, we are able to support you throughout your academic journey. Another amazing resource that I heavily utilized when I was in college and university was the career and co-op services. So we have dedicated staff members that are there to support you create a professional resume and train for interviews. So our staff are able to provide mock interviews with students for any job that comes across your desk. So, for example, if you have a big job opportunity coming up, maybe it's a field placement, maybe it's a co-op experience, and you need support for that interview, come in and chat with one of our advisors, and we'll sit down and do a mock interview with you on the spot, right? So it'll help iron out some of those kinks and get some great feedback on the skills and experience that you already have, right? So highly, highly recommend, if you are looking for a job, utilize our career and co-op services, because you try to get career support outside of the college, it's probably going to cost you quite a bit of money, but it's all included within your tuition and fees here. Alrighty, residents. So we do have residents at both our Niagara-on-the-Lake and our Welland campuses. I think we have about 600 beds per campus, just as a frame of mind. And the idea is, as you can see in the top right-hand corner of your screen, that is the room layout for both of our residence buildings. So the idea is that you'd have a shared common room and a shared washroom with your roommate, but you would have your own individual private bedroom, right? So you have a little wall, like you have the big old wall dividing you and your roommate. So you're not living in a house with 6 people, for example. You're not having bunk beds. You have your own individual room available to you. We have 24/7 access to campus security. We have front desk staff. So if there's a flood in your room, for example, there's always someone there that's willing to support you and help you out during that time. We also have maintenance and housekeeping staff that are also able to support you in any issues that can come up with your room. So if you are looking at residence, I highly recommend looking at our Niagara residence website. I believe the cost of the rooms are approximately $1,000 a month. So for an 8-month program, for example, you'd be paying just over $8,000, just as an example. But please just confirm with the resident staff what the exact fees for residence is. All right, important dates. So once again, these are primarily for domestic students. If you are an international student, I would highly recommend connecting with our international team just to make sure that you know the application deadlines for your program. So in October, applications have opened. We have already been receiving applications and sending out offers for a variety of our different programs. If you were looking to come for September of 2024, the equal consideration deadline for applications is February 1st. Okay. So if you were looking to apply to a highly competitive program, so once again, think nursing, paramedic, dental hygiene, things like that, you have to apply before February 1st. Okay. For many of our other programs, they will not fill up on that February 1st deadline, but it will become first come, first serve after that point. So just as a recommendation to all students, get your applications in before the deadline, just so there's no hiccups that come up in your application. In March, we will have our next open house. So we just had our fall open house back on November 4th. So our next open house will be Saturday, March 23rd. And we'd love to see as many of you folks there to learn more about what Niagara has to offer. And then residence applications will be due on April 15th. I think that one will be the same for international students as well, but don't quote me on that one there. And then the deadline to accept your offer will be May 1st. And that is also when you could start getting your OSAP application in, start connecting with our health, wellness, and accessibility teams, and learning more about your next steps at Niagara College. Alrighty, that concludes my presentation. As you folks can see on the screen here, more of the contact information if you didn't get a chance to grab it beforehand. So once again, if you are a domestic student, please connect with us using our myfuturenc@niagaracollege.ca email. And if you are an international student, please connect with our international team via email. They can be reached international@niagaracollege.ca. And I think now we will move into the Q&A portion. So if you folks have any questions about Niagara College, I can see a few questions here already posted. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the Q&A, and I'll be able to tackle them for you. Alrighty. Let's go with the first question here. So would you say hands-on learning is better for nursing? Yes, I would definitely say that with regards to a nursing program, whether it's a 2-year RPN program or a 4-year RN Bachelors of Science in Nursing program, definitely hands-on learning is critical, right? You're going to be working with patients throughout your career as a nurse, so it's important to know how to handle a variety of different medications and do a variety of different techniques, right? We have these amazing sim dolls in our simulation lab that are able to communicate with you. They can talk to you. They can cry. So if you put in an IV wrong, for example, you put a needle in their arm, they may yell at you, for example, right? So having that practical hands-on experience is totally, totally valuable. Next question. Is Niagara a safe area? Yes, I can definitely say that, in my opinion, it is a safe area. Both our Welland and Niagara Niagara on the Lake campuses have 24/7 security. So there's always someone on campus, rather a whole team on campus, that make sure that the campus is safe and secure. And between you and me, I live in Niagara, and I feel quite safe living here. So that's my personal testament, but I'm sure you folks can look into that more if you have concerns. Will this presentation be posted or accessible later? I'm not sure if it'll be posted on this platform here, but I don't believe it'll be posted on Niagara College's website. So if you did want to get this information at a later point in time, once again, please feel free to just contact us. Our emails are on the screen here. If you live on residence, is a meal plan required? No. So you're not required to have a meal plan. I think the majority of our students will just go down to the local grocery store, pick up what they need, and then make their own food in the classroom, or not in the classroom, their own room, the dorm room. They do have a small fridge available in the room as well for you to store your stuff. And you're also able to bring other appliances. You want to bring a kettle, you want to bring like an air fryer, things like that. I think the only thing they don't let you bring in is anything with an open heat source. So no hot plates, no burners, things like that. All right, next question. Do you think the cannabis industry is a good idea for students with how new it is still in Canada? So this person, I think they're asking about one of our cannabis programs. So yes, we do have a graduate certificate, so a one-year program in cannabis studies. And the idea is that students would be able to go on and work within the cannabis industry in Canada. Chatting with some of our amazing faculty members in that program, they've really shed a light into what the cannabis industry is, especially in the Niagara region, and how many different producers are moving away from sort of the macro farming aspects of it and working towards micro farming. So developing certain strains of cannabis to do a variety of different things. I just know from personal experience, knowing friends and family who are in the industry, they've highlighted that they're working as a scientist, essentially developing new strains of cannabis, right? And so that 1 year opportunity would be able to support you in going down that pathway. Great question. Thank you. How do you prove the scholarship from Niagara to be real for international students? I'm not 100% sure what you're referring to, my friend. But if you do have questions, like I said, for our international team, the best person to get in contact with is them directly. So international at niagaracollege.ca. They'd be more than happy to chat with you and explain more about scholarship opportunities at the college. Great questions, folks. Thank you all so much. Still got a bit more time available. If you do have any additional questions, I'd be happy to flag them for you. Hope everyone's staying nice and warm wherever you are. I know here in Niagara it's gotten a little bit chilly. We had our first snowfall yesterday, so hoping wherever you folks are, you guys are nice and bundled up and warm. All right, I will also just throw on our schools again, schools of study rather, just in case you folks were interested in a specific program. There we go. So these are 15 academic schools. So just if you do have any specific questions about any of those programs, still got a few minutes left if you folks would like to chat. So once again, folks, we still have a few more minutes here before the next presentation kicks off. If you do have any additional questions, I'm happy to flag them now. I'll also be heading over to my booth, right after this. So if you do have any of those questions you want to reach out independently, you can do so there as well. I think we got another question here. All right, so thank you for answering my first question. Second question is, how do you ensure any of your admitted students get study permit at the end of their visa processing? Once again, that is a question for our international team. I'm not 100% familiar with the visa process, depending on the country you're coming from. So once again, please make sure you're connecting with our international team for those inquiries. Thank you for putting that in the chat, my friend. I think we got about another minute or so for any final questions. Please feel free to drop them in the chat. Do you have any clubs or teams? Yes, we do have a variety of different clubs and teams available. So if you're looking at varsity athletics, we have basketball, volleyball, soccer, and golf, I believe, are there four main sports teams. But we also have tons of different intramural sports as well that are on a much more casual basis. So if you want to play like pickleball, for example, table tennis, things like that, we have those available to our students. How can I get involved if I don't live on campus? Great question. You are still able to utilize all the services available to you, even if you do live off campus, right? Tons of our students do live off campus. They do commute to the college. You are still able to participate in these activities as long as they fit into your schedule, right? If intramural badminton, for example, is taking place between 4 and 5 on a Friday, for example, but you've got class then, you wouldn't be able to take it, right? But if you have that flexibility, you are on campus or you want to travel to campus to get involved, world's your oyster, my friend. Any scholarships? Yes, we do have a variety of different scholarships available to students. So if you are interested in seeing what scholarships are available, I would just recommend going to our financial aid tab on our website to see more of what we have to offer. There are different scholarships available for different entrance requirements, different programs, things like that. So you're able to cater your experiences and what you're going into to the scholarships that you're looking to get. Alrighty, folks, that is all the time I have. Thank you all so much for joining me this evening. I really appreciate, once again, students taking the time to learn more about Niagara College. So if you do have any additional questions and you want to chat one-on-one, please feel free to reach out. I will be in my booth in a few minutes. Alrighty, folks, thank you so much. Take care and enjoy the rest of your evening. And enjoy the fair. Please make sure that you're going to other sessions and chatting with more folks and getting the most